Welcome to Midwest Whitetail. This week we've got some hunting action for you, some updates from the field, and I'm going to bring you the latest in my attempts to fine-tune my pattern on Big Junior. That's the deer I'm looking at here on the computer right now. So it's a lot of action, a lot of kind of early season hunting action. So hope you enjoy today's episode.
Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Realtree, Muddy Outdoors, Frigid Forage, Hoyt Archery, Fuse Accessories, Rocket Broadheads, Scott Archery, Redneck Hunting Blinds, Cabela's, Bloodsport Arrows, Trophy Rock, Yeti Coolers, Non-Typical Wildlife Solutions, Quiet Cat, Deer Grow, Icon Cameras, and Nikon.
Today's October 9th, and I'm back in the same spot that I've sat the first 4 sits of the year. And I've kind of gone over the setup before, but there's a big cornfield here to the south and a thick bedding area off here to the straight north of me. And basically what it is it's a ditch that runs through an old cattle pasture. Now there's not any cows in there, and there hasn't been for some time now, so that's really grown up. It's really thick, there's a lot of tall grass, and those bucks have felt really comfortable in there all summer. And I've got a lot of pictures of these deer using this open gate that you can kind of see right below me. And I sat this stand last night, and pretty much my strategy for the first week of the season has been to wait for a northerly wind on a high pressure day. So we've really been watching that barometric pressure, and yesterday was the front end of a cold front. Even though it was 80 degrees, the cold front was coming in last night. Now today is the first day that the temperature has dropped. It's in the mid 50s today, upper 50s. And we're hoping that that's going to have the deer on their feet. Last night, they were actually out real early. I filmed a few of the bucks that I'm after on this property. The first one was out at 5:45, and the other one was out just shortly after 6. So those are the two deer that we're kind of hoping for. There's also a big 7-pointer in here that I'd love to shoot. So we got in here plenty early, real quiet. I left the camera, the camera arm and base, and my backpack in here, so we didn't have much getting in. But we're going to sit back. We got a few hours of daylight left, and hopefully one of those bucks walks through this gate. See him? There he is right there. Good, I see him. Good buck, I see him. Should have grunt at him. Wait till he gets behind something. Okay. Wait. No. Don't touch it. Here he comes. Shush him. Wait, he's gonna go up. I don't have him. He's cornered pretty hard, Eric. Wait, don't shoot. Don't shoot. Wait, just wait. He's cornered really hard right there. Yeah. Meh.
Okay.
I don't know how I shot high on him, but I shot right over his back. I can't believe it. Man, that was a good buck. We just got out of the stand and we had an awesome sit tonight, especially for October 9th. The key to every hunt basically has been that we are right next to their bedding area. Those deer are bedding in that ditch and they're transitioning either north or south out of that ditch. But it was just dead calm tonight. And when I grunted at that buck, he was only 50 yards away, and I think I might have grunted a little too loud. It still worked. It got his attention, definitely, and he came and started working our way, and eventually led to a shot. But that's something to keep in mind if you're going to be calling to deer in these really still weather conditions. You got to make sure that you get that call up in your armpit, point it the opposite direction, and just really make sure that you're blowing a soft grunt. So that was a big takeaway from tonight is, one, you can grunt deer in early October, and two, if you're going to do it, make sure you're grunting at the appropriate volume for the weather conditions. And speaking of weather conditions, we've really been keeping a close eye on the weather the first 9 days of the season, and we've been keen on these cold fronts, particularly when the barometric pressure is rising. I have seen all 4 of the shooter bucks on this property, and it's only October 9th. So especially during October, especially during the early part of October, pay attention to that weather. Watch the barometric pressure. There's a lot of websites out there that you can monitor that, and your October sits are going to be few and far between, but when you do decide to go in and hunt, you want to make sure that those weather conditions are working out in your favor.
Well, it's about 5 o'clock and we're just finally getting set up in the tree. Typical opening day, just trying to get everything sorted out, get back into the routine. We're actually just doe hunting tonight. This is a farm that has way too many does on it. It's hard to even get food to come up. I haven't hunted this since early October last year, so I don't really know what to expect. But from the looks of the food plot, it looks like it's been getting hammered, so we'll see what happens. For Josh and I both, it just feels good to be back in the tree. First arrow release of the year. That was fun. First deer of the year. Hopefully she's not too far, and hopefully another one comes out before it gets too dark here.
Well, it's Saturday, October 3rd. Jared and I got out to the farm, my new farm, this afternoon. We checked cameras. We set this set. We got in here a little bit late. It's already 6:05. We've been in here about 30 minutes. First doe just stepped out. We're hunting over some alfalfa with a northeast wind. I'm going to keep this interview short. We're just going to see if this doe makes her way up here. We're going to shoot a doe if we can. And I got a bunch of mature bucks feeding in this alfalfa right now, so hopefully one of those guys will show up too. First doe down on the new farm. One of my goals this year is to reduce the doe numbers. We have a really high deer density here. So Jared and I went and bought 6 or 7 doe tags today, and we're just going to try to get as many as we can taken care of early. Made a good shot on her. I don't think she'll go very far. we're just about out of light here, but we've probably seen 11 or 12 bucks so far. They're really feeling frisky, this cool weather. They're playing out in the alfalfa, chasing the does around, messing around, and we're fortunate enough to have another doe come up in range here. She kind of smelled where we had been working and was getting a little fidgety, but presented us a nice 10-yard shot. Made a good shot, and she just crashed down in the timber there. So we'll sit here for a few more minutes, see if we can't get a mature buck to at least let us get some video. Movement's really good. We'll just sit here till dark and then go recover the 2 does. Well, it's Saturday, October 10th. Jared and I just got set up in our hay bale blind in the alfalfa for the evening hunt. This is our second weekend out at the farm. Last weekend we had a great opening weekend, shot a few does, and Sunday afternoon had a great encounter with a buck we call TD Jr. Probably a 3-year-old, possibly a 4-year-old, but a deer we'd love to see again next year.
Like Mike said, this is just the second weekend on this new farm. But we've been running cameras probably for a month and a half now, and got a lot of pictures of a lot of good deer. One thing that's always a challenge on a brand new farm is you obviously have no history with any of the deer, so you're really trying to judge these deer's ages by just typical body characteristics, because you don't ever know for sure if you don't actually have the history with the deer. So we're just going to highlight 3 of our favorites that we have on the farm so far.
The first buck that I'm really excited about is a deer we named Caesar. He's just a really big mainframe 8. You know, he'll be the one that I look for the hardest this year.
Yeah, so with Caesar, we're definitely saying that he's going to get shot if he gives us an opportunity. This next deer, we're calling a game time decision. He's one of those deer that we're pretty positive he's not 3, but we think he's 4.5. But obviously when you throw a camera in the mix, filming your hunt's a little different aspect, and we've kind of made the decision we're going to base it off how good the video is and how good the hunt is, and he's going to be a game time decision. It's a deer we're calling Pistol Pete. I'm hunting with an LSU fan here, so that's kind of where that name comes from.
And the last deer is a definite no-shooter. He's a young deer, great genetics. It's a deer we named Freshman, and I'm really looking forward to having some encounters with him this year and building the history with him. Hopefully running into him again in a couple years.
And again, we're just on the cusp of really running the cameras hard. We just transitioned all the cameras to scrapes, and we already actually picked up a new buck today on our card pull. So basically every time we pull the cards, we're getting new deer, and it'll be fun following not only those 3 deer, but the rest of the deer on the farm, and hopefully some new ones as we go this season.
Looking forward to a good hunt tonight. Hopefully something comes out. Jared's got a couple doe tags. We'll shoot a doe, and if one of our mature bucks feeds out in front of the hay bale blind, we'll take a poke at him. Last weekend we had set up on the other end with the east wind, and we had 25 deer down here on this end, so I got my hay bale blind in on Wednesday, and we put it together and came set it out on Wednesday, so hopefully the deer have become a little accustomed to it. We'll see if we can pull this off or not. Oh dude, they really are going at it. We're just wrapping up our evening hunt here. We had a pretty good sit. We did see about 20 deer out here in the alfalfa, 3 of which were bucks. One was a 3-year-old 8-point we call Hook. Overall, we had a good day today, got a lot of work done, had a nice sit, enjoyed a nice sunset. For the next few weekends, we're just going to be getting ready for the rut, setting some more sets, and trying to stay out of our good spots. Thanks for watching Midwest Whitetail.
Alright, so what I figured out was where this deer is spending most of his time, and that was my goal. If you remember back the last couple of episodes, I've been getting pictures of Big Junior in the middle of the night on a big and beastie plot. And I knew that he was either getting up really late and bedding close by, or he was coming from a little bit further away. And if that was the case, which is what I hoped that was the case, then I had to figure out where he was coming from. So I started spreading cameras out and moving outward away from that spot in the direction that he was coming from. So I started backtracking him basically. And it was probably, I bet I'm a quarter of a mile now from that big and beastie plot, and that's where I'm picking him up all the time on trail camera now. Here's the aerial photo of that spot. This is about a 7-acre food plot, roughly, and it's in beans. And it's really the main food source in that whole area. I don't have a lot of food plots over there. This is a tough one to hunt with a bow. I mean, we've spent a lot of time hunting it before. We've only had real success with a gun when we've hunted that food plot, just because the deer can come from so many different directions. But anyway, the camera is sitting right here. So he's living, I think, in these timbers real close to this bottom field. So I think that the real hard work of figuring out where this deer is living is over with. Now it's more of sort of fine-tuning maybe, or even just trying to be patient and come up with a strategy for hunting this without educating this buck. I don't think he's going to go anyplace. This is where we ran into him a couple of times last year during the late season. So we expect to find him here pretty much all season. So I need to spend some time thinking about it. I got to get some more tree stands in there for morning hunts, and I've got to figure out how I'm going to hunt this in the evenings. It's a pretty inconvenient spot to get to for somebody to drive in there and bump the deer off. So I think we have to be really careful here. We've got the whole season in front of us. There's no point in being hasty now. The other reason not to be hasty is because Big Junior hasn't shown up in daylight yet. Even though we're right in the middle of what I think is his core area, and it's very completely undisturbed back in there, he still is only moving at night. Right now it's more, like I said, more just the strategy time. Keep monitoring, keep an eye on him. I've got cameras in a couple other locations there around that bottom, and I am picking up a few pictures of him here and there around the bottom, but when I'm right in it, it's just nonstop. I mean, he's on there 5 or 6 different times every night. So that's where he lives. So anyway, we got that part of it done, and then just stay tuned, and I'm going to walk through the rest of it here as I sort of go through it myself, of trying to figure out exactly how to hunt this deer without the deer knowing that we're hunting him. Well, I appreciate you joining us this week. We'll see you right back here again next week for the next episode of Midwest Whitetail, and remember to always dream big.